Welcome to the Wish I'd Known Then podcast. I'm Sara Rosette.
And I'm Jami Albright, and we're back.
We are, finally. I feel like it's been months.
Yeah, I know. But and looking at our numbers, it seems like it's been months. It turns out nobody really wants to listen if there's not a new episode.
Funny how that works. That's why we normally do weekly. But anyway, it's been a good break. So this episode, it's going to go out on the week of July 4th, we think, if everything comes together. And we're just going to catch up and talk about what we've been doing, about taking a break. And yeah.
Why don't you start us off?
Okay. I think it's actually been really good that we took the month of June off because we had so many things going on. We've implemented phase 2 of our not depending on the government and utilities in case of emergency.
At your house?
Yeah. So we got the generator, basically.
Yeah.
So now we have Starlink, so we'll always have Wi-Fi, and we got the generator, so we'll always have electricity.
And goods do you have? That's what I want to know.
Well, not enough. Not nearly enough.
You can't qualify as a prepper yet.
Oh, no. We're like not anywhere near preppers. We're just doing the basic. We just want to have cool air and refrigerated food. That's basically the deal. We've had people coming and going. We've had stuff done on the house to get the walkway done. We've got that redone. And it's, everything is like a 3 or 4 day process. Or we've had people here, and that's just hard to plan to do things because you have to be here to give the feedback and let them in and let them know if they're doing it right. And then it's just hard for me to concentrate when there's lots of stuff going on. So basically, I've gotten things done, but it's been piecemeal, and I don't feel like it's been super productive, but I thought, okay, I will just concentrate on different types of things in this time that I have. So I'm still working on the letters. Those are still coming along. I'm almost done with them. The formatting's done. I'm just waiting on the final couple of illustrations, and then those will be done. But at this point, I'm thinking probably hold them until after summer and launch them in the fall. This is the other thing I learned, that getting proofs of my special edition, it just takes longer. And I should just plan on probably needing 3 proofs. I'll find something that I need changed and I'll make the change, but then I'm not brave enough to launch it without seeing a proof of the change. Right. So I did see a post online the other day. This woman, she's working on a calendar. She's an artist. And she said, this is my second proof. She posted it and said, it usually takes me about 3 proofs before I get it finalized. And I was like, yeah, I think that's correct, that it takes a while. And then by the time you factor in the shipping and everything to get the proof and check it and then order another one, it's going to have taken me about 2.5 months to get ready for this special edition. But it'll be gorgeous when it's done.
Tell me where are you selling it? Are you doing a Kickstarter or are you just
No. I'm just going to do it on my store. So, that's part of it, is getting the different pages set up, which is pretty easy since I've done it before, just duplicating. But it's all things, steps that have to be done. Got to set it up on BookFunnel so people can get the ebook. Basically, I'm doing little hodgepodge projects.
So will they be able to order these special editions directly from is it Book Vault you're using?
Yeah, I'm using Book Vault.
So you're not going to have to ship anything.
No, because this time I'm doing a digital signature in it. I did this last time because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get the books in, sign them and send them back out because we were traveling. And so that seemed to go fine. And I didn't have people who were upset with that. And I thought I can offer a signed book plate if people want one. The signature is actually it's in the book. It's a digital signature.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So what's the biggest challenge you've had with this, would you say?
I think just it's taking so much longer than I feel like it should. I feel like I should be able to upload the first round, get a proof copy, and then launch it. And I just need to plan that it's going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah. So how long from the time you finished the concept of what you wanted and uploaded it the first time to now, how long has that been?
I think I got the first one in May, the first proof in May, because it takes a while because they're special editions. So it takes about, I think it's 10 to 14 days for them to produce it. And then it has to be shipped. And then when you get it, I got mine, the spine wasn't quite right. It has a little bit of the front cover bled, like the spine was too narrow. So, you got to go to the cover artist, get them to fix it, then re-upload it. And it looks fine in the digital proof. But then I thought, I don't know. I think I better order a copy just to make sure. And then I had some other changes too that had to be made. So it's just been longer than I thought. But
it's more tedious than you think. When you get your final copy, put a picture in the Facebook group.
Yeah, I will. And it was pretty fun. I saw online an author had a special edition coming out, and they have the printed in papers, and theirs had a block for a signature, a little section so the signature could be on the very front. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I'll do that next time. And then I went, oh, wait a minute. I have to do one more proof anyway. So I changed it and put that in there. And I was like, I'm a self-published author. I can do it right now.
It's yourself. Yes.
Yeah.
How much are you going to sell these for?
I think the price points are going to be $40 to $45 for the hardcover, and then around $30 for the special edition paperback, which is going to be the same size, but it won't have the ribbon, the end papers, and all that because you can't do that.
I'm sorry. You probably said this, but I can't.
It's been a while since we've chatted.
Is this a new book or is this a?
Yeah, this is book 2 in the Egypt series. Yeah. So I did book 1 on my store. It was the first one that I had sold on my store instead of doing a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And I didn't make as much money as I did on the Kickstarter, but I had a whole lot more time. I feel like this is a good fit for me right now. I enjoy doing the Kickstarters, but I feel like I have to do it all with the Kickstarter. If I'm going to do it, I might as well do all the extra things and get the networking going and, do the shares and all that. And that's a lot of work. So that's what I've been working on. Nothing super new or different, plugging along.
So when do you think will you start a new book soon? Do you think?
Well, I've got a whole bunch of projects going on. I've got a couple of things that in the works, kind of a secret project that I can maybe talk about next time.
Okay.
And I'm working on that. And then I'm also doing some ads stuff. I'm taking a course with ads.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. So that's taking some time too. And that's also taken up some time because I'm trying to get everything lined up. Unfortunately, when you move and your business paperwork has your old address on it, it's quite a challenge to get your store approved, your Shopify link to Facebook approved. So anyway, I'm working on that. I'm waiting to get paperwork back from the IRS. So you know how fast that will go.
Oh, yeah.
That'll just be speedy as all get out, right?
They will just whip that right out, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I had to officially change my address with them, and I have to get an official piece of paperwork. And I think that will take care of it.
Yeah. Can you tell us which ads course you're working on? You're taking?
Yeah. I'm working with Matthew Holmes, and he's going to be on the podcast in September. I've been getting a lot of things in place for that. That's taking some time, and creating images and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So nothing's actually running yet.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. I didn't know you were doing that. So that's
good. Well, I feel like taking a break I think it's been really good because it gives us a chance to try to do some different things and a little more perspective on what we're doing. And it also made me really want to come back to the podcast. I'm like, I want to get back. Yeah. So what about you? What's going on with you?
I'm teaching swimming lessons right now. So I'm at my daughter's house, and I don't know if we can really talk about this on the podcast, but I'm going to. I've been considering a breast reduction, and I have a consultation, but been on the fence. But teaching swimming lessons has really driven that nail right in.
Has it helped you make a decision?
Yeah. I have been felt up by every preschooler in this area, and the other day I was holding a kid under her arms and having her kick, and she literally crossed her arms and just rested them on my breasts. Yeah, I'm like, what's happening here? Yeah, we're doing swimming lessons, and I am exhausted, but not as bad as I have been in the past, which is weird, but probably not weird because the first year I did it, I was just not used to it, and I was tired, didn't really know what to expect, and I was tired. And then the second year I did it's when Joni got really sick. And then third year, Lord, I don't even know what happened that last year. I can't
remember back 6 weeks, much less a year, right?
Right. But having said that, I've had an idea for a bunch of books, started a bunch of books since last year at this time. Several. But I did get an idea for women's real world women's fiction is what I'm calling it.
You mean
Pretty
kind of like
realistic.
slice
So
of
I don't
life?
really know where it would fall. It might fall into general fiction as opposed to women's fiction. I think have I talked about this on here? I can't
I
remember.
don't think so.
Yeah, it's basically what happened with my
Okay, so
sister.
yeah, this is the idea you had like a long time ago and you kind of put it aside.
Put it aside. I had a different idea set more in a women's fiction sort of thing, like with one sister that's dealing with her relationships with the other sisters, her relationship with her aging parents, and all that comes with that,
Mm,
an ex-husband who is in the mix, and this sister who's dying. When I first talked about doing this year before last, I was told that really if I'm writing women's fiction, the sister cannot die. I can't write that book. I can't.
yeah, because that's not.
That's not the book. I'm writing this book. I am, it's as realistic as I can make it. And I'm
Mhm.
just leaning into it. It's fun. It's sad. The joke is I go to Starbucks, I sit there and cry, and the workers there just walk by and hand me a tissue. I just sit and cry and write. But so it's sad, but it is funny and it's heartwarming and
I
it's
can't
real.
imagine
It's
anything
just
you write not being funny,
I
you
don't
know?
know. This may be, yeah, to me it's funny, but it
No.
may not be funny to anybody else. But so that is what I'm working on. But here's the deal, y'all. So a couple of years ago, I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I took a medicine. It didn't really work, and I was in a funk anyway because grief and everything, and so I just really didn't do anything else about it. But I really realized, after the first year, besides grief, I was having some serious executive function issues. Like,
Mhm.
knew the things needed to do, even wanted to do, but couldn't get off the sofa to do it. And it wasn't like I was just laying on the sofa. I was just sitting there and I could not force myself to get up and do it. It just was also overwhelming. If you have ADHD, you know this feeling. And let me just say, I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. And you should talk to your medical professional. But I decided to try again. I talked to my doctor. He referred me to somebody. And on May 21st, I started Adderall. And this book is the book that Adderall wrote because I've
Really?
written
Wow.
almost every day since I started taking it. Now, I have no idea if it's a placebo effect or if I do feel like even through swimming lessons, I'm riding in the mornings before 11. I get in the pool at 11. I teach for 7 hours and sometimes I'll ride at night. That has never happened. So
Yeah.
it has to be the medication. It just has to
Mhm.
be. Wednesday will be 6 weeks. I am almost finished with this first draft.
Wow. That
And
is excellent.
that's never happened. It's never
Mhm.
happened. Now, it's, and I know you'll say it always is, but this is a hot mess. It is a mess. I've got about 3 stories going on. I have
You have different threads.
this one thread with the ex-husband, and then that's it, and then the dying sister is the biggest part, but I don't know that I want it to be the biggest part, but I am just writing it as I feel it. I'm an intuitive writer.
Mhm.
I just feel things, and this feels very special to me. I don't know if it's special just because it's very close to my story,
Mhm.
our story as a family, and my sister's story, but it feels very special. And I am just trying not to second guess it. There is a quote that I can't remember who said it, but it's basically your intuition knows what to write, so get out of
Just
the
get
way.
out of the way. I've seen
So
that. Yes.
I think it's Ray Bradbury. So that is what I'm doing. I am
Mhm.
just, and the medication has allowed me to do that. Like the self editor that I have
Mhm.
had just kind of turns off when I start
Wow.
writing.
That's wonderful.
It really is, it is amazing. So if you're on the fence about things, you might just talk to
Just
your
ask about it. Yeah.
professional about
Just
that. So that's what I've been doing. I mean, I've been writing. I have started some new Facebook ads and I've gotten really depressed about it on Friday night because, as I've talked about on here before, I can't get my ads to be profitable. I can't
Mhm.
get things to convert. And I feel like I redid my blurb for Rockstar and I've redone my blurb for Homecoming King. Those are both first in series. I changed the covers. So I don't know what the problem is. And it's not like I just changed the blurb. Like Melanie Harlow wrote the Homecoming King, the Rockstar blurb, great blurb.
Yeah.
And so anyway, Friday night I was very down about it. And Alexa and I were talking, and she called her husband, Dylan, my son-in-law, over. Dylan, and I mentioned this before, he's in advertising, but his specialty is really Facebook ads and Facebook data, just data in general. He's a genius. He really is. He's so smart, and he just grasps things like that. And so Alexa said, look at mom's ads, figure out what's going on. And I don't always go to him for that because what he does and what we do is so different. Like the scale of it is so different. He's running ads for Ralph Lauren and
Like
things like that are,
and it's those are not books. Those are
no,
like
those are huge
different
ticket
type
items,
of
big ticket items. And and he has tried to run ads for me, and he has said it's really hard to,
which should make us all feel better.
Yeah, it does. But anyway, he was looking and he said, did you know that like almost 50% of your ad spend is going to men? And I was like, well, it shouldn't go to men.
Yeah.
I unclicked men. It should not be going to that. And he was like, that's interesting. And so he dug around and he said, oh, it's because you have the ad advantage or what is it called?
I can't think of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Y'all, it's the AI part of Facebook ads where they go out and find your bigger audience.
They maximize it for you, right? Or optimize it.
Optimize it. And when they do that, they don't consider the parameters that you put on your ads. And they are basically sending it out to people that they believe will click on it. And Dylan calls it the fat finger phenomenon. And a lot of men do have that. Like they'll be scrolling and they just click on
accidentally hit it.
Accidentally, or they want to expand it, but it clicks on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And those clicks are cheaper than my female clicks.
So that's what it's trying to.
They're trying to get me cheaper clicks.
Yeah.
But also more clicks. And they also want me to spend money.
Yes. There's that underlying thing that is good for Facebook.
That is a Matthew J. Holmes thing. Like he does talk about using that feature. But his wife runs the ads for. She does write sci-fi, I think, or
sci-fi or fantasy, something like that. Yeah.
And so that does have a more varied audience. I think if you write straight romance, then it may be better not to do it.
If you choose to let them optimize it, then they ignore whatever parameters you've set, like for age, gender, all that. Right. And they're just fine. Okay. So that is good to know.
Something to think about, test it and see, I guess would be the thing. But I started new ads. They're doing okay.
And
you're low right now because I don't want to lose a bunch of money right now.
Yeah. And it's smarter to go small until
but it's
have it dialed in
too. When you go too small, you really have to get up to a certain amount before and that's different for everybody. Before you can really see how well they're working. But I've got attribution links on them, so hopefully I'll be able to tell by that. But anyway, so that's what's going on. But also then today I was in the Clubhouse group that I'm in. They told me my assignment was to put a book for free and send out a daggum newsletter because I haven't really sent one out. And so I did that, but in doing so, I went into BookFunnel and was like looking at the promotions thing.
Yeah.
They didn't have any that I could sign up for a free book, but they did have some for like first in series for KU and just things that would run like for a month. So I put Rockstar in a few, but then I realized, oh gosh, this is a mess. I haven't been in here in such a long time to go in and update and refresh and do all this stuff. And then I was like, oh gosh, if I know that's a mess, but I also know my KDP stuff is probably a mess too. So it's
Well, you
like,
mean in book funnel, it's a
yeah, in
mess,
book
or
funnel,
your landing page?
they just needed to be refreshed. Like the new blurbs needed to be
Hmm.
put
Oh,
in, and
yeah.
so then I'm like, oh gosh, there's all this admin stuff that I need to do, but
Hmm.
I'm trying. I might do a little, like this morning, instead of writing, I did do that. It can get really overwhelming, but I had kind of forgotten about it. Plus, when I was doing all this before, I was younger.
Makes
I
a
also
difference,
didn't
huh?
have all the stuff going on that I have going on now. And
Yeah.
it was just, also, I was enthusiastic about setting all this stuff up. I'm
Hmm.
not as enthusiastic anymore. I did put Homecoming King free. I'm gonna send out a newsletter, and then I'm also doing a free Booksy because that book hasn't been free in a long time. So
Hmm. Yeah,
I'm doing a
that's
free
good.
Booksy, but that's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna spend that was $120. I'm not gonna spend a lot more. I just need to do something.
Hmm.
I've sort of been
Yeah.
licking my wounds and feeling sorry for myself, and why don't my books sell, and blah blah blah. And it's time to stop. But
Well,
they may still not sell, but it's time to stop doing that. And
and you're going to be proactive, but I
yeah,
think there is a time when whenever you're doing something and it stops working,
mm,
it's almost like a morning. You go
yeah,
through this, why isn't this working? Because it was,
yeah.
and now it's not. And so you have to kind of work through that where you
Yeah, you
grieve
do.
it and
I
then
mean,
move
it's
on.
kind of grief. It's like a
Yeah.
grief thing. And I mean, I told Alexa that I said, it's okay that I'm sad that things aren't the way they used to be.
Hmm. It
It's
is.
okay that I'm sad about that. I just can't get stuck there. And I have been stuck there. I've kind of been
Hmm.
stuck in, why isn't this work? And then I remembered when remember we had this
Hmm.
conversation about authors who had been successful in the past and they didn't want to make the changes. They didn't
You get
want to run it.
stuck in your
Yep.
groove and
Yep.
you don't want to change it. I know I'm trying so hard not to do that because with indie publishing, I totally missed that boat in the beginning because I was so in trad. And
Mhm.
now I'm trying to always know what's going on and be willing to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to the Creative Pen, Joanna's podcast the other
Yeah.
day, and she said she was in, I think, ChatGPT, and she said, this is what I'm doing right now. This is what I've been doing. What do I need to be aware of and what changes do I need to make to stay current? That's a
Okay.
really good thing to do
Yeah, that's a
because
good prompt.
a lot of things are changing and it's hard to keep up with everything that's going on
It is.
and to have the mindset that, this is possible. I can do this. I was
So,
going to say, when I
mhm.
went through, like you were talking about all the little details and things, this is a tip for somebody. If you're just starting out, do this to begin with, and it'll be so much easier later. I track down all my landing pages that I have,
Mhm.
where they all go, create a spreadsheet, put the URL in there, which sequence they're matched up to in my email, and what the landing page looks like. And I didn't realize I had some that were really not that useful. And so I can consolidate those.
Yeah.
And I feel like now I know where all my things are because I had several created through like email signups. And I was like, where is that coming from? Where
Yeah.
does that go?
Yeah.
So if you start out and just keep a list of where they all are, you don't have to track them all down like I did.
Yeah, I mean, email is next. I mean, I know I have some stuff there that has to be updated and fixed.
You
And
do have to check it every once in a while and just see how it's looking,
yeah.
right? And see if it's outdated or not.
And the thing is, I can't really see the problem. Like, I know there's a problem. I'm not good at finding why is there a problem. Like, I'm not good at that.
We can
So
identify them great,
I
though.
really need somebody to come in and tell me why. But that costs money. So yeah, that's hard. But anyway, yeah, that's what's going on with me. This book is like I said, it's the book I feel like I should be writing. The problem with it will be, I think, and I will get help about it, but not making it self-indulgent. I remember one time I
Mm.
was watching American Idol. This was a long time ago, but this has always stuck with me. And there was, oh, what was her name? It was just one name. I can't think of it. She was this black singer and had a really amazing kind of gospel tenor and sound to her voice, but she had been singing all the songs that they had picked, all the pop
Hmm.
songs, popular songs and stuff. but they got to pick their own songs one week. And she chose this gospel song, and it was amazing. It was so good, and everybody loved it. But Simon said, I feel like that was a very self-indulgent performance.
Ooh.
And I didn't agree with him, but thinking about that, like that has stuck with me about when you're creating or performing,
Mm.
giving the audience what they want. And I think that's what he was really talking about.
Versus what you want to
What
do,
you
maybe?
want to
Okay.
give them. Think about what it is they want too.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I've done that with my other books, really thought about that. And I want this book to be the same. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be so self-absorbed and self-indulgent that it's not palatable. And
Yeah.
but I am going to get help. I just have to
Well,
get it
I mean,
in.
you're still at the stage where you're
Oh, yeah.
drafting, basically. So
Yeah. And
that's
it's
when
a
you
mess.
just
I mean,
put everything down, and it's okay that it's a mess.
Yeah.
As long as you have something down, then you can work with it.
Yeah.
And you've thought about this for a long time. So I think it's really good that you're doing it. I'm really
And
happy.
I mean, the fact that I am actually writing it has to mean something.
Yeah. Well, so I had a question about the Adderall. So have
yeah.
you seen any changes just like in your non-writing life from that as well?
Oh, yeah. I have more energy. I haven't had a nap, and I was a napping every day kind of gal.
Yeah.
Which, nothing wrong with it, but
No. Well, you can't really be doing that if you're teaching swimming lessons in the afternoon, though.
I can't. But also just in my thinking, just more clarity in my thinking. I'm able to I can't say that I'm able to remember more, but things do stay with me. Or we've talked about it. I can do it. I think I'm more present with people too, because I was so in my head about the fact
Yeah.
that I couldn't get anything done, and I really felt horrible about that. It made me kind of retreat from people, I think. I think I'm more present. So yeah, it's really,
And so
and
is
I'm
it
on the
not a,
lowest dose. Like I'm not even
yeah.
a super high dose at all. But
Well, do you feel it's easier to start writing and get going?
yes, yeah,
Okay. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Well,
I
that's
mean, that's
good.
the thing. It just like I open my laptop and well, here's an example. I guess I have been writing almost like every day for 3 weeks straight. I had written every day for 3 weeks, and then my computer broke.
Oh,
And I was like, "Ugh, this is what always happens," catastrophize.
yeah.
And I took it to this thing. It was going to cost me $500, and I was telling Alexa and Dylan, and Dylan's like, "Jamie, I can get you a computer for $1," because they have when people leave the company,
Mm.
they turn in their computers, they wipe them, and they
And then
just
they just resell them.
they just sell them for $1 to their employees or whatever. And so I got a
Wow.
newer computer for $1, newer Mac for $1,
Wow.
but that took about a week. And
Uh-huh.
in the past, if I had a week break like that, I would not go back. Like it would
It'd be
just
really
be
hard,
done.
right?
Yeah. I sat right back down and started again. And
Nice.
that is huge, huge, huge.
Well, I also upgraded. I have a Mac Mini,
Hmm.
and it was an older one, and it was so slow. I kept having to close things down because it just didn't have enough memory. So
Right.
I upgraded on that too. It's going really good. Macs, you can't go wrong with, but you get so much storage with the Mac Mini if you just have to have a different screen.
Yeah. Oh, this one has so much processing ability, way more than I even, because of what they did with.
Because they have images and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I could probably launch a spaceship with this thing. I don't know, but I hadn't tried that yet. But I might in a
In all
while.
your spare
I'll
time,
do
maybe
that.
you'll do
Yeah.
that next time.
But so that's what's
Well,
going on with me. I have missed the podcast. I've missed interviewing people and
me too. I miss catching up with you and talking to people about writing.
yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to get back to it.
Yeah,
So we will have more episodes soon. Oh, and we also do need to mention we have one new supporter. So thank you to all supporters for sticking with us while we took a break. We have a new supporter, Tiara, chose the heart emoji, and that sign up came in May. So this is the first time we've had a chance to mention it. But thank you to all the supporters who have stuck with us. We really appreciate it. And it just helps us defray the cost of the hosting and all that stuff. And we just really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it, unless you have anything else.
No, not really. I mean, I guess we have to mention our entertainment. So have you watched anything good lately?
I have, but now wait, I can't remember.
Okay, well, I have one. I'll
Go
talk while
ahead.
you think.
Tell me what.
Department Q. Have you
Oh,
seen that?
yes, that's the one I was gonna say, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that's really good. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that. It's my favorite trope. The band of misfits comes together, solves a crime,
Yeah.
and it's
And I
actually
just
based
thought
on a
it
book
was
series.
yeah, I thought it was so interesting, how, like, the crime itself was a very interesting crime. You know, it
Yes,
wasn't like something you see every day.
yes, and it kept you
Yeah.
curious. And the way the show is structured,
Mhm.
there's some twist even in the structure of the show. I won't say anything else because
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it. But
No.
yeah, so I watched that. That was really good.
I watched Sherlock and His Daughter. I think that's what it's called.
Oh,
It's on one of the British channels, but,
uh-huh.
it was pretty good. I mean,
Cool.
it was
I hadn't even heard about that
yeah,
one.
it was pretty good, and I was gonna tell you, do you know PBS Masterpiece? They're doing their own version of Astrid. It's called Patience.
Yes, I have not seen that, but I have to check that out. And I
Mhm.
just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. And then there's another show, I think it's on Acorn, Art Detectives.
I'm watching that too, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind
It's
of,
okay.
yeah, I would say if you're into art, crime, check out the French show, Art of Crime. So much better. It's a little more in depth, has more emotional depth to it.
Yeah.
But it's cute and it's fine. It just feels very light compared to some of the other stuff I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Alexa and I watched the Karen Reed documentary, and
Oh.
we watched it, like, 2 nights before the verdict, so
Uh-huh.
I had already been
You're
following it, but
into
I
it.
hadn't watched the documentary, so we were really on the edge of our seats on that one, but
Yeah. Wow.
so,
Very cool.
you know me and true crime, I do love my true crime.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I love my fictional crime. So I'm right there with you.
It's
Oh, another good one that I watched was Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Have you seen that? It's on
I
I
have not.
think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's another adaptation from a book. It's a cold case. I think it was originally YA. So it's got a young woman that she gets involved in as a school project. She's going to look into something
Yes.
that happened in her English village in the past. So it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how many books are being adapted.
Yeah. Yeah. Department Q is also based on a book. So there's a whole series.
Oh, and I went to see F1 this past weekend.
Oh,
Brad Pitt.
what'd you think?
Let me just say, I know I don't wanna hang out with him, but I don't mind looking at him.
Well, you know,
I'm just gonna say that. But I said, you know what? I really enjoyed it for what it was. I knew going in what I was gonna get. I wasn't
yeah.
expecting anything in depth or life
Mm-hmm.
changing, but for what it was, I thought it delivered. If you're
Mm-hmm.
an F1 fan, you may not, because I've heard that there are some,
Mm.
you know, mistakes made as
Is
far as
it
the
that
F1.
case of being too close to whatever
Yeah,
is
but
fictionalized is
I
hard to watch?
I've I saw it on the X screen, so I didn't do it on purpose. That was the time I could go, and so I bought the
Mm-hmm.
ticket. But the screen is gigantic. Like, it's as big
Mm.
as a IMAX screen, I would say, or
Wow.
close to it. But all the racing scenes, all the outdoor scenes, there was even an airplane, like the airplanes
Mm-hmm.
flying over, like at the beginning of an event, you know how they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All of those, the pictures on the front screen, but it's also on the side, on the walls.
That might give me a headache. I don't know.
Well, I
That
was
might make me
worried about
nauseous.
getting motion sickness because
Yeah.
I'm not as young as I used to be, and my head's not as clear as it used to be. But it didn't. In fact, while he's racing,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like you're in the car. I mean, it's
Wow.
very immersive. It was pretty cool. So if you
Huh.
get a chance to see it, or any movie like that on those big grand movies. See it on one of those screens. I'm
Yeah.
not going to see Jurassic Park on that screen though.
No,
I think that might be too much.
too much. Yeah. That's fun.
Anyway, that's me. That's what's been going on with me.
So we'll be back at the regular format with podcast soon. And that's all we have this week, right?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. You can support the podcast at wishidonefowriters.com/support. So if you've gotten value from the podcast and want to help us out, that'd be awesome. And you can find the show notes at wishidonefowriters.com. And we'll see everybody next week. Bye.